Morning, everybody. I think we're still waiting for a few more people to join, so if that's okay, we'll just give people another couple of minutes. Hope everybody's well and staying safe in these very strange times that we're living in at the moment. So we'll just give people another minute or two, if that's okay. I'm presuming everyone can hear me okay. Lately, I've been having a few more problems with Wi-Fi. I think more people enjoy the pleasures of working from home. Okie dokie. I think it's a couple of minutes past now, so I think it's a good time to crack on. And if anyone else joins, I'm sure they can catch up. So, firstly, good morning. Thanks for joining the webinar. For those of you that may have spoken to Jens Lindenberg in the past, you may realise that I haven't quite got Jens's accent. Unfortunately, he's been delayed whilst travelling. And has asked me to kick the webinar off. So I'm Kelvin Woolley. I look after the UK in the same way as Jens looks after Europe. To be fair, the most important person on today's webinar is Anne, who'll be taking us through the real detail of what Evosys can to bring in terms of engineering and construction solutions and what we've done in the past. So just as an initial introduction to Evosys, if you could just click on one screen for me. Oh, sorry, agenda, blimey. Yeah, so sorry. So basically, I'm just going to kick off with a quick overview of Evosys. Obviously, the key thing really is concentrating on the solutions that we can offer and the experience that we can bring based on previous projects. So we're going to go through some of the challenges that are faced, the solutions that are available, and some of the specializations that we've developed over the years in conjunction with a number of our partners and customers. And then I suppose where technologies are taking us as we go forward. So hopefully in the next 35 to 40 minutes, it's going to give you a rounded view, as I say, of the experience we've got, what we've done up to now, and how we see things going forward. So just to say, give you a very brief overview of Evosys. That's why I'm not going to spend too long on this, and it's obviously something we can pick up separately. But effectively, Evosys has been around for a number of years now, and we specialise in Oracle Cloud solutions, and that's across the full Evosys, the full Oracle stack around ERP, HCM, etc. And through recent growth, we're now present in 30 countries with more than 1,500 consultants spread around the globe. Importantly, we're now proud to say that we've got more than 1,000 customers where we've influenced and implemented Oracle Cloud, and on top of that, a number of on-premise Oracle customers. So you can see there we've got a very broad range of customers across various different platforms, and more importantly across various sectors, including around 90 or so engineering and construction organizations globally. From an implementation perspective, we follow an adopt process whereby we certainly encourage customers to adopt what is being brought out within Oracle Cloud and to continually update and innovate their business using the updates that Oracle offer. Fortunate over the last few years to have received a number of awards and recognitions from Oracle. And again, sort of very proud to be probably Oracle's leading partner in Europe as we stand at the moment. So from a customer perspective, again, if we can just flick forward, and if you don't mind. So we've got somewhere in the region of 80 to 90 engineering construction organisations, and I'm not going to sit here and go through all of these individually, but just picking out a couple. EEI out in the Philippines. They've been live now for just over a year, went live in March 2019. Fairly sizable organisation, 10,000 employees, and they went live with a full Big Bang solution for financial, supply chain projects and subcontracting. And again, it's subcontracting that we'll look at a bit today as we're, I suppose, analysing some of the challenges that are that we see within the E&C sector. M Group Services is a UK implementation, and M Group Services is the bringing together of a number of recognised organisations, people like Dyer and Butler, Morrison's Utility, Morrison's Data Services. When we started the implementation in around May last year, there were 9 organisations that were part of Group Services. They're now up to 15 through acquisitions, and live HR payroll, just about to go live on ERP, and then introducing a phase 2 to bring on all the other organisations that they've acquired since. So a bit of an ongoing project there. So hopefully that sets the scene for who we are as an organisation, the sort of experience we've got, and I say we can share more information on any of the customers and the journeys that they've gone through. But hopefully that sets the scene for you, and I'll pass over to Anne now to get into the real detail. And obviously, if there's any questions, happy to pick those up at the end of the session, or if you want to put anything in the chat, we can pick it up as we're going through. Thanks very much, and over to you, Anne.
Thank you, Calvin. Hello, everyone. Warm welcome of all of you in this webinar. So as Calvin has rightly mentioned that we have implemented our solution around 90 plus E&C clients, as you can see this different logos. So we have the customer in different eras. So we have implemented our solution for home builders, the commercial contractors, for the maintenance companies, for the companies related to the engineering services. So we have the customer again in the E&C under the different type of for LOV, wherein we have implemented our solutions. So this particular slide is just talk about the whole ecosystem of the engineering and construction companies, where there are principal developers. So it could be the government companies or real estate developers who give the whole work of the construction to the general contractor. And again, general contractor can further subcontract some specialized work to the subcontractors. Sometimes principal developers even take the help of the design and services like engineering companies to provide them the design or consultancy services. And sometimes general contractor itself provide the design and consulting services to the principal developers. Again, there are maintenance or utility based company who provide those services to the general contractor or directly to the principal or developer. And again, there are further supporting companies who supply the equipments, labor or fabricated work material to all these general contractors or subcontractors. So the main thing is that we all understand the whole ecosystem of E&C, how it works together. and we have implemented our solution in all these different environments, and it went live. So based on our 90 plus experience of ENC client, we have come with some specific challenges that we have seen into this particular industry. And based on those challenges, we have developed certain niche solution to overcome those gaps. So right now, I'll just talk about first the major challenges that we have seen in this industry. So we have seen like late delivered projects, so there is a huge delay in delivering the projects or completing the construction because of absence of a right scheduling tool, also unavailability of information regarding the critical paths or some key scenarios, overrun cost due to absence of budgetary control and unplanned procurements. Again, ENC companies are using many different systems which are again non-integrated, because of which there is a no single source of truth, and it finally result into a very complex or manual reporting work, again like cost value reconciliation report like a CVR and everything been prepared manually out of the system, which take too much man days to produce a simple report itself. We have seen the a huge paper based environment and a less of digitalization usage. Subcontracting process is again is very ineffective, so the whole claim subcontractor claim process, the pay less notices, online check of CIS, uh, and further the claim assessments, everything is manual, result into it makes the whole subcontracting process very ineffective. Customer billing, again managing the contract terms like your retentions, penalties, deductions, tracking those into the customer billing. Managing those is again a very manual processes. Low productivity of labor and equipment, because again we are deploying the labor and equipment, but how much production they are giving it to us, and are we on right track? Evaluating their productivities, uh, and VAT and CIS related compliance issues. So these are, some of the major pain areas we have seen in the ENC company, and result into, in each process it consumes so much take so much big cycle times are there uh, to perform many of these processes, and sometimes due to legislation issues there are hefty penalties being charged. So looking into all these pain areas, we have come up with a solution which overcome this pain area and bring ENC as an overall company on single system, and give you all the reports from the as a single source of truth. So it gives you the real time reporting with drill down capabilities, and also come up with the modern ERP practices which organizations are using nowadays. So now let's talk about the solution that we have in the engineering and construction company. So first, let's talk about the coverage of this solution. So this solution cover your whole project planning and control business area. So you can maintain your scheduling of your project. You can maintain the your bulky work breakdown structures into the system, and further the budgetings, the budgetary controls, the billing as per the terms and condition of the contract can be managed using the project planning and controls. So basically, it comes under the planning and control. It also manage your whole procure to pay management, including your sourcings, like request for quotations, award cycle, including your subcon claim process. So automation in the same, their claim assessments, and online check of CIS, uh, further billing to cash. So even it digitalize the whole process of billing to cash, wherein the site team can raise a billing, which further goes for a scheme of delegations, and once it's approved, then it result into a final invoice to the customer. And of course it take cares of all your terms and conditions as per availed in the contract, like your retention terms, retention releases, any penalties or deductions that needs to be there as per the contract terms. So it take care of all this. Bank management, so your payment integrations, the auto reconciliations related functionalities, and cash forecast, cash positioning, so all the modern functionalities from the treasury point of view. Manpower management to check the utilization of the resources, availability of resource, their demand versus forecast, and adding to their payroll requirements. The asset management to manage vehicle and equipments, their utilizations, their availability, tracking of all the equipments, and their maintenance of the equipments. Material management to manage your all site related material requirements. Financial, handling all your financial operations. And finally the project 360 analysis to give you the real time reports. So basically the solution that we are having is cover all this broader business area and bring all the business into single platform, and all process remain integrated, which finally gives a holistic view to the organization to take the right decisions. So what basically the outcome we can see after adopting this solution is that, of course, then our solution gives you the very enhanced reporting in different business areas. So it just not only provide you the analytics like your project based health check, or earned value based analysis, or cost performance index based analysis. So it just not provide you the analytics, but it also gives you the insight related to your process optimization, that how much the collection cycle times are, what is our payment cycle times, what is our procure to pay cycle time is there, uh, how it can be further optimized to have a more effective processes. Also the reports around audit and compliance, like invoice and payments, there is a segregation of duties is there or not, is there any exceptions are happening into the organizations, so to avoid such exceptions. So there is a reporting package which gives you different analytics to from the process side also, as well as from the overall profitability aspect also, like even like a ratio analysis and all those. So just a glimpse of some reports here, like you can have a entity rankings based on the profits and the growth has been highlighted in this slide. Further, you can have on single screen the overall project health check, that how many projects are making profits, how many projects are making losses, their periodical trends. Further, we can see the cost performance index and schedule performance index of the projects level, as well as at the portfolio level. The actual raw cost versus earned value analysis, or budget versus actuals. So for the project managers and the portfolio managers, there are right level of reports been available to evaluate the health of the projects. Like I was mentioning, the cycle time analysis, so it gives you the collection cycle time and the payment cycle time to see that are we utilizing all the credits provided by the supplier, and are we taking the payments on the right time with the customer as per the credit period allowed to them, or it's a huge delay in the collection, and for which customer there is a huge delay. So we can take the right approach, or we can opt a right process in those area. So this is mainly the outcome of the overall our solution is. So now let's talk about the solution, that what basically it offers. So the solution that we have is basically been divided into two major things. First is the Oracle Cloud product. So whatever are in the blue, which is going to come up on this slide, as reflect the Oracle Cloud product, and the orange represent the accelerators that we have developed based on requirement specific to the ENC. So here we have divided the ENC business into major four areas. Like first area is a lead analysis and opportunity flow. Then comes, once the project is awarded, then the project initiation process start. Then comes the project closure and its maintenance during the defect liability period, and then the project documentation and the reporting. So these are the major business area or a life cycle into the project driven industry like ENC. So in the lead analysis and opportunity flow, we offer the sales cloud to manage all the leads, convert them into opportunities, and making the win loss analysis to how to improve our sales cycle uh, more proactively. So such for that we generally offer the sales cloud, which helps in managing all the lead analysis phase. Under the initiation and execution, there is a cloud procurement. So basically it manage all the procurement needs like your requisitions, purchase orders, your blanket agreements, your whole sourcing cycle like request for quotations, awarding been managed through the cloud procurement. Then there is a cloud primavera to manage your all scheduling requirement, managing your detailed work breakdown structures, and for the earned value based analysis for those generally the primavera is there to manage those uh, business, and the project financials to having your budgets, cost controls, further your billing as per the terms and condition to the customers. Then let these are some of our specific accelerator like subcontract management to manage all your subcontract requirements. So we'll anyhow going to discuss in bit more detail in the upcoming slides. So I'll just give a glance here. So subcontract management to manage your subcontract requirement, equipment management to manage your vehicle fleets, their utilization, to see their availability and have a forecast. Then comes the bank facility management to manage the requirement of the treasury team to manage the short-term loans, long-term loans, their installment informations, the letter of guarantees and letter of credits which has been issued to the subcontractor and the customer. So managing those within bank facility management. Material management to manage all your site related material requests and enabling the budgets control, that are those whether all those material requirements are within budgets or not. Customer billing to have a customer billing as per the terms and condition, and managing the retentions penalties, including it also embedded with the scheme of delegation. Variation order management to manage your RFIs, potential change request, and further the whole variation order process. And again, it's embedded with very tight approval hierarchies. And finally, the solution MTD uh, to manage your VAT and CIS related compliances. Under the closed area, the close and maintenance, we have a service cloud so that this can be used by the customer to raise a maintenance request. And then we have a snagless solution to have a effective handover process when the general contractor hand over the infrastructure or property to the main contractor. And finally the enterprise asset management to uh, manage all the equipments and their maintenance, as well as managing the infrastructure that the general contractors have built during the defect liability period. And finally, for the documentation and reporting side, there's a PBCS to generate the CVR reports and sending the revenue accruals to the finance in GL. And the reports that we have seen initially, so basically it's taken care by our performance reporting packs. And again, all this solution is tightly integrated with the financial and HCM. So again, as you can see, there are so many different components to manage all the pain areas that we have discussed initially. Uh, but finally, all these components are tightly integrated with each other to give you the holistic report. And this integration are inbuilt, or the standard integrations are there to manage all the requirements. And finally it gives you the output which we have seen in the earlier slide, to more from the process optimization and analytics point of view. So now in the upcoming slide, we'll just talk about more around this Evo accelerators, that what it is, and I'll talk 2 minutes on each slide to give you the brief regarding those solutions. So all these solutions that we were discussing been built based on the challenges which we have seen in the engineering and construction companies, and we have deployed this solution for many of our clients, and they are using it. And again, we have seen the drastic reductions in the cycle time after opting this different solution. So the subcontract management solution is a wherein the schedule of value or rate cards can be maintained in our solution. Further, there is a subcon portals are there wherein the subcontractors can submit or submit their claims. Further, those claims goes for a assessment, which is evaluated by the quantity surveyors or the cost controllers. Further, for those claims, there is a scheme of delegation is there wherein it's approved by the necessary stakeholders. Further, it is also solution is integrated with HMRC, so it also check for subbies their CIS status, so the right rate can be charged from the CIS reduction point of view. And again, this solution is complied with the Engineering and Construction Act, and it issue the payment certificate and pay less notices to the subcontractor once the claim assessment is complete. So it uh, automate the whole claim process or the application for payment process end to end. It's an automatic process, and it's integrated with the ERP so that finance can make the payments to the subcontractors. Second is a customer billing management. So a customer billing management is again wherein you can maintain the whole schedule of values or a rate card into the system. And further, the quantity surveyor and cost controller based on the progress monthly or fortnightly based on the project day, they can raise an application for payment on the customer. And again, that application for payment can be submitted to the customer wherein the customer can confirm those AFP. And once it's confirmed, then it result into a final tax invoice on the customer to have a settlement. So again, it is bring the site team, which is basically the quantity surveyors and the finance team and the customer in sync to have a faster billing cycles. Then comes the variation order management. So variation order management is more around wherein the site team can raise, and so it could be the subcontractor or our own site team person can raise an RFI, uh, which further can be converted to the potential change request and the variation order. And once the this variation order has been approved, then the final purchase order or the buy contract or sales contract can be approved based on the CI values. So the whole process of RFI to variation orders can be automated through this particular solution. Then comes the bank facility management. So this solution take cares wherein you can store all the long-term loans related informations, short-term loan, the installments, again letter of credits which been issued to the subcontractors, letter of guarantees which issued to the customer and subcontractors. So all these bank instruments can be managed in this particular solution. And further, this solution sends the alerts and notification to see that which LC is going to expire on what date, which installment is on which date it's due. So it's avoid if there's any interest or penalties been charged as per the contract by the bank or by the customer. So this solution help us in avoiding those by having more stringent control in place to avoid such things to happen. There comes the snag list. So snag list is basically in ENC, this is a very common process that once the construction is complete, that there is a handover process wherein the whole infrastructure been handed over to the customer. So during that process, there is a the whole list of defects been prepared. For the closure of that defect list is required, and then only the customer release the retainage or retentions. So basically tracking those snag list item, their closure and their QA approval is very much needed, and that's where this solution come into place to manage requirement around those area. In the same way, there is a solution around equipment management, to wherein the project manager can raise a request for the equipment, which goes to the equipment departments, and equipment department can assign the equipment based on the availability. So it could be a fleet or vehicle or any other tool. And finally, this solution or this application gives the overall utilization of the equipment. And if there is an internal billing is happening by the equipment department on the projects, so then all those things also taken care by this application. So it also handles the internal departmental billing, because again the equipment is a big investment. So again it gives you the profitability and utilization view of the equipment, so the right decision can be made for the future purchases. The material request solution is basically a wherein it's a very easy application through which the site team can raise a material request, which further goes to the storekeeper, which is basically at the project site only. And the storekeeper can either issue that material from their store, and if it's not there, then it's auto creation of requisition, and it intimates to the procurement team, so the procurement team that can place a purchase order for the same. So basically it bridge the gap between the site team, storekeeper and the procurement department, and reduce the cycle time of identifying the purchasing needs. So it result into that your project keep on going without major disruptions. Finally is making text digital. So again, we all know that it is a new initiative by the HMRC also to have a online VAT returns and CIS returns. So basically our solution is bring all the necessary input output information from our ERP solution itself, and helps you in the online filing of return. So many companies as of today are using some different system to do the VAT and CIS return filing. And again they either built a complex integration with their current ERP system, or they use certain reports to that can give them those output, and then they do some manual entry in their VAT and CIS system to file the return. So it increase the cycle time also, and it require more manpower. But here this solution is already integrated with our ERP cloud, Oracle cloud ERP system, wherein the and also registered with the HMRC. So you can directly file the VAT and CIS return using the your ERP sign-ons. And final is our integration capabilities. So as I have mentioned that ENC companies are many time are using many different systems, and sometime due to some specific reason they continue with some of their niche solution. So in the same for such cases we have the our own integration application also, which is very easy to build any integration with any third party system. So wherein the necessary file mappings can be done using the UI itself, as been attached here in the screenshot. And based on those mapping, the integration can be built either with the finance or with the projects module or the projects application, based on the business requirement. So we have built many integration, like with the Primavera or business crafts or many payroll system. So many type of integrations been built using our Evo integration hub or our integration tool. So these are our key accelerators that we have built for our ENC clients. Uh, Now going ahead, I'm going to talk about some of our initiative around advanced technologies. So in that, first I'll talk about the chatbots. So as you can see, the chatbots is basically it's a one-touch solution for everything. So the CFOs, commercial directors, procurement officers can, just typing certain keywords can get whatever they want. So here, as you can see in this video, the CFO is looking for some analytics or company's consolidated statement. So just by typing word, the system will give them relevant output. So the system might ask them some smart question that for which company you want to see it, this statement, and once they will select the company, as you can see, the system will give them the relevant output. So it makes the extraction very easy. So in the same way, like customer and supplier can check their invoice status, the CFOs and commercial directors can see the project health. So no need to log in into the system and do some complicated process. It's just a one touch solution to do the necessary extractions. And next is the IoT solutions. So IoT solutions are again around your needs of your asset like vehicle and fleet monitoring. So at any point of time you can see that where all locations of my vehicles, how much miles they have traveled, what is their standby time, like from how many hours they are standing on one location itself. And again, if the vehicle or fleet or equipment is producing more heat, then it create a alert like that it's requires some inspection. So such can be managed through the IoT devices and the signals, using the signals of those devices. And in the same way, production monitoring, like if at the site there's a concrete mixture is there, so how much concrete it is producing in a day, and what is standard output for all my concrete mixtures. The connected workers to see that at my site how many workers are currently working, and further if they are accessing any zone which is restricted, so all those can be managed through our IoT solutions. So these IoT solutions are again very robust, and it take all the information and put it into a platform based on which through the BI reports then all the data can be analyzed further. And again it helps in the effective executions uh, at the site as well as at the head offices. So as we have discussed all these solutions here, so as you can see that the pain areas we have discussed above, so related to the ineffective subcontract management or ineffective customer billing, or around the late delivery of projects, unplanned procurements, or my tracking of vehicle and equipment. So this our all overall our solution covers all the areas, and it helps the ENC company to overcome with those pain area and help in adoption of the modern practices. Now, again, this solution gives the value addition not only to the CFOs, but it also extended to the commercial directors, HR officers, procurement directors in all the areas. Like CFO can get the multidimensional reports and get more accurate compliances around VAT and CIS. The commercial directors can see the status of the purchase orders, can see the status of overall billing to the customers. They can view the project health by quick touch. And again, the subcontract management process become more effective. Evaluation of the subcontract performance, all this thing can be managed by the commercial directors. The HR team can manage the permanent employees as well as temp labor, which is or like a contingent workers, which is provided by the subcons. And it also helps in the enhancing the employee productivity. You can see the talent pool in your company, uh, and all the specific regulations around regional regulations around payrolls and all can be managed. Further, procurement officers, for them it make their sourcing process more effective, helps in identifying the supplier performance, and do they have complied with all the laws and regulation, and are they registered under the Company Act, under the VAT regulations. So all those can be seen. Further, it reduce the cycle time of procurement to pay, to bring all the stakeholders in the sync. So this overall solution touch each and every department, okay, and it bring the job execution team as well as finance, procurement, all the teams into one platform to have a holistic view. So now let's talk about some case studies. So this is our solution. We have deployed one for EEI and another was AM Group Services. So EEI, as Calvin mentioned, it is basically a engineering and construction domain companies in Philippines. So it is one of the largest construction company in the Philippines. Again, they have a 10 plus entities, multi countries presence. They were having 23,000 plus employees and around 1,000 plus equipments, wherein we have implemented our all the solution like our subcon solutions, Primavera, our overall ERP. And of course, after the implementation of our solution, we have seen the business benefits like a huge reduction in the cycle time of subcon. The customer billing process become more integrated, because the one of the challenges was that their billing process was ineffective and it took too much of time for them to raise a bill on the customer. So after our customer billing solution, it has been improved a lot. Again, MIS reporting, so their chart of account structures and the overall hierarchy of entities was not up to the mark, so it took too much of time for them to have a consolidation and reporting. And again, it then become very easy for them after a huge transformations been done by having a new enhanced chart of account structure based on the uh, standard engineering and construction practices. And further, we built necessary integrations like between the P6 and the Fusion to bring the executional work breakdown structure and cost breakdown structure to be in sync. In the same way, we have also implemented this solution for M Group Services, which is in UK, and the key facts are that they were like a different LOB. So they're one business. They were under the utility as well as in the construction. So they were having some big projects also. Again, it's a multi-entities, multiple line of business, and they were having 100 plus different locations in UK itself, like different depots and all, to execute their project operations. And again, through our solutions, they have seen more integrations around all the processes, the quick reporting, and they have seen the huge compliance ratio from the CIS and VAT reporting point of view, because online check of CIS and then online filing of CIS VAT return, it's result into that huge reduction in the cycle time or manpower, mainly for the CIS and VAT department. The CVR reports, so CVR reports at the project and sub projects level they have seen, and it's helped them further to have the overall health of the projects. And again, we did there the multi-layer consolidation or step up consolidation to have a reporting at the multiple parent entities level. So this is the two of the case study, and we have the detailed case study also. So of course you can touch base with us to have more information around the solutions that we have implemented here in the for these clients. Yep. So yeah, so this is overall around uh, uh, the solutions and the advanced technologies, and what is the outcome of those overall solution. So now, Kelvin, can you just take up this the why Ovosis, and can you just brief them?
Yeah, certainly. Thanks, Anne. If you can flick
Thank
to
you,
the
Kelvin.
next slide for me, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you, Anne, for that, and thanks for everyone for sitting through. Hopefully, that's given you some background around Evosys and also our experience that we've gained through the implementation in numerous customers as we've talked about. Obviously, Anne didn't touch on everything we've developed from an extensions point of view, but hopefully some of the things around the subcontracting process will resonate with yourselves as ways to address some of the challenges you may have. And then likewise, things like the project progress and the customer billing. So I say, hopefully that's given you an idea of what we can bring to the party. And if you can just flick to the next screen, Anna, if you wouldn't mind.
Yep.
So basically, you know, we take a very customer-centric view of projects and look to, I suppose, support a customer through value-based delivery, through making sure that everything's known up front. We certainly prefer and believe it's a better mix of risk and mitigation with a fixed price approach. And what we have started doing through our value-based analytics and our value-based delivery is identifying measurable key KPIs at the outset of the project through our Insight project, which we'd be very happy to talk to you about, where we can identify some of the benefits of going down the Oracle route with Evosys, and identifying those, say, measurable KPIs to realise your return on investment. Obviously, some of the accelerators that we've touched on, some of the innovation that we're going through at the moment with IoT, etc., again, is all encompassed in our methodology, which, as I mentioned right at the beginning, is about adopting the best practices to achieve the best outcomes. So, with that, again, I'd like to thank you for your time. I hope you found it useful. And if you can flick to the next screen, Anna, if you wouldn't mind. There's some contact details there for Jens, and also our business email address. I think you can have you have got the opportunity, if you scan the QR code there, that will take you straight to our website. But I'd certainly like to just open it up now for any questions, and probably entirely, if you want to unmute people, it's probably better to having the questions verbally. So if anyone's got any questions, I'd like to throw out myself or Natali. Sorry, Anna. It's all gone, but Natali, can you unmute people, please?
Yeah, sure, Kelly. Yes, I've unmuted all of them.
Unmute.
Attendees,
If anyone's got a question, perhaps if you'd like to throw it into chat, or I see some people are unmuted.
Yeah. Hello.
Hiya.
Yeah. My name is Arnel Olivar. I'm from the Philippines. And I just want to ask if, because you had mentioned about risk, is there any integration tool also that if I want to monitor the risk treatment that I have done, is there any part of the Evo system that I would be able to somehow monitor also the risk that I have implemented?
Yes, Arnold. So there is a placeholder where you can. Yeah, so Arnold, just to answer your question, so we have a placeholder or basically application where you can maintain all your risk and issues. You can give them the weightages to those risks, and further it gives you the overall, the risk analysis. So the application is there to manage that area.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So just one more question. What about on the store? Say, for example, there would be some deviation of the actual items on the store and the the items that is listed on the Evo management system related to the inventory. So how do we reconcile that? So is there
So
any is this fixed, or we can actually do some dynamic way to reconcile this data?
yeah, so basically, so there are two things. So when we say the Oracle Cloud product, so all these stores, so basically, if you have, every project, if you are defining as a store, then it can be designed, your inventory structure can be defined in a way in the Oracle Cloud. And in the cloud itself, there is a functionality around the cycle count. So, companies are having like a quarterly inventory count or yearly inventory count. So at that time, whatever deviations they have identified, so there are multiple ways to manage it. So first, of course, it required a root cause analysis. And after that, if you identified that this much of variance is there, or it needs to be write it off, so there are necessary mechanism are available to write off those uh, uh, deviation. So there is a whole functionality of cycle count is available to manage the physical count, checking the variation, and to take the actions on those variation or shrinkages.
And these are all documented in the system.
Yes, yes, yes.
The action. No, okay, good. I think no further questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnav.
Thanks, Arnel. Any other questions at this juncture? I'm guessing not. So on that basis, can I again thank you for your time this morning, and thank you for your time as well. And obviously, please do get in touch with us if you want some any further details or information on what Ana's gone through this morning. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.